What that does, like I said, romanticism arises from a place of insecurity. So that means that you're seeing each other, everything's going well, and then a roadblock occurs. Something bad happens. Every good story, something bad happens. Every good story comes with a setback. Every good story comes with a moment of doubt. And unfortunately, I have to feel some doubt about whether or not this is going to work in order for me to completely solidify the love. Some people have that doubt in their minds all the time. So they tend to fall in love really quickly because they're always doubting themselves. It causes them to fall in love. What this is saying is that you're not really listening to people. And so people will feel like you're not listening. They will resent you for not listening to them. And you'll end up
like a boss.
All right, people, welcome to the Robert Greene book club today. And today we're going to be reviewing a chapter of The Art of Seduction, which is on giving people space to fall, where the pursuer becomes the pursued, right? So this chapter is all about initially when you're first meeting people, when you first quote unquote seducing someone, trying to get somebody to like you, or even trying to get a job, or even trying to win a political campaign. One of the most important things is once people support you, you got to pull away and let them come after you. And the truth is, this is actually very true. Once you give, you got to wait to get in return. Once you give, you can't keep giving. You give once, you wait for them, and then they will give back to you, which is the mistakes that a lot of people make. So today we're going to be listening to Robert Greene's audiobook. And this version is going to be for YouTube, but I'm going to finish the rest on Patreon. So if anybody wants to join the Patreon and get access to the Robert Greene Book Club, you can click on the description down below where it says join the Robert Greene Book Club. And there you'll be able to join the club. It's only $5. It's only a cup of coffee. Okay, like it's only a cup of a gentrified coffee. All right. So just click on the description down below. And there, we're also planning to review movies and TV shows. So hopefully I could do something like that next week, just to get your feedback. But let's begin with this, okay?
21. Give them space to fall. The pursuer is pursued. If your targets become too used to you as the aggressor, they will give less of their own. Chapter 21. Give them space to fall. The pursuer is pursued. If your targets become too used to you as the aggressor, they will give less of their own energy, and the tension will slacken. You need to wake them up, turn the tables. Once they are under your spell, take a step back, and they will start to come after you.
Yeah, because look, even anybody who, even from your experience, you'll realize that that's actually the case, right? You'll realize that that's actually the case. That even if you like someone, you notice that when they give you space, when they're once it's almost like you're breaking the momentum, right? You're seeing them all the time, you're calling them all the time, and then the momentum is stopped. And that stoppage of the momentum creates fear in the hearts of most normal people, which causes the other person to start chasing and pursuing. So what he is saying is that every relationship that has worked out, there has been some situation that has created this effect. Maybe the person went on vacation for like a month and the person missed them and they were seeing each other every day. But then after the second month, because they're going on vacation, now they can't see them and now they miss them. Maybe they had a fight, and because of that fight, that distance, they stopped talking to each other for a few days and then they got back together, right? The distance is so necessary because it allows you to self-reflect and realize what's important to you. And also, which is fucked up, it allows the ego to self-reflect. And naturally, when the ego self-reflects, it naturally makes you feel more insecure, which causes you to chase more.
Begin with a touch of aloofness, an unexpected non-appearance, a hint that you're growing bored. Stir the pot by seeming interested in someone else. Make none of this explicit. Let them only sense it, and their imagination will do the rest.
So what he's saying is that if you try to be too obvious about pulling away, the person will resent you and they won't chase you. So what you want to be able to do, and mind you, people, this is something that I don't recommend, okay? Because some of you guys can't act, and it is manipulative. But this chapter should be a justification for whenever you need to create space. For example, a lot of people will have a hard time applying this because it is manipulative, and I do agree. But a lot of people, let's just say you want to go on a date with someone next week, and the date comes, but you like them a lot, but you feel really tired and you also feel kind of sick, but you are afraid to disappoint them. This chapter should be an encouragement to tell you that it's okay to disappoint them. They're still going to be there. It's okay for you to have to cancel plans because you have to work late. It's okay for you to not text them back because you feel antisocial and you don't want to text them. It's okay to see the text message and not text them back because you're having a nap and you don't want to interrupt your nap, right? What I am telling you is that if you actually live a normal life where you're not isolated and where you're doing healthy things and having people in your life, this will happen. You will not one day want to hang out with your partner and want to go party with your boys. One day you're going to want to go on vacation with your homeboys and not invite your girl because you're tired of hanging out with your girl, right? The issue is that these things happen all the time. These types of situation, for this situation, this type of situation happens all the time. It's just that you insulate the people that you love from experiencing this, because when you like someone, clearly you don't want to do harm. And one of the harms that naturally happens is that they tend to feel insecure when we pull away, and we think we're going to lose them because maybe we have a fear of abandonment. What this is telling you is that it's okay. It's okay for you to hang out with your sister or girlfriends because they asked you to hang out and you haven't seen them in a while, and now you got to break a date with the guy that you see. What I'm trying to tell you is that people will forgive you more, and these types of situations are good. They're good for you. And this also applies to politics, right? For example, imagine Donald Trump, right? When he lost the election, he just started talking shit. What he should have done was kept his mouth shut and accepted defeat, and not do what Democrats did and blamed it on a fake election. And say it was a fake election. He should have just kept his mouth shut. But what he did, he started talking, being a sore loser, and did exactly the things that he complained about the Democrats doing. And that's not accepting that he lost. So because of that, now he is in this type of trouble where he's in court. All because he just couldn't create space. If you lose, if you win, create space. Sometimes there comes moments in life that you're doing a great job, and sometimes you just have to stop and let the person breathe. Let your audience breathe. A manager who doesn't give his employees space becomes an overbearing manager that sabotages performance. Let's keep listening.
Creating the doubt you desire. Soon they will want to possess you physically, and restraint will go out the window. The goal is to have them fall into your arms of their own will. Create the illusion that the seducer is being seduced.
So what that does, like I said, romanticism arises from a place of insecurity. So that means that you're seeing each other, everything's going well, and then a roadblock occurs. Something bad happens. Every good story, something bad happens. Every good story comes with a setback. Every good story comes with a moment of doubt. And unfortunately, I have to feel some doubt about whether or not this is going to work in order for me to completely solidify the love. Some people have that doubt in their minds all the time. So they tend to fall in love really quickly because they're always doubting themselves. It causes them to fall in love. What this is saying is that sometimes You have to create that doubt through having a normal life, which comes with inconsistency. It comes with inconsistency of behavior and moods, because you're not always happy. You don't always want to see your partner. You don't always want to hang out with them. But when you feel insecure, you're never going to allow that natural air to flow in. Because it's like the love that you give, if it stays in the room for too long, it turns bitter and it starts to smell. You got to let the air ventilate. Let the love in and let the love out. And you allow natural ventilation through this, through pulling away, through getting them to chase. Because hopefully what you do is that you pull away and they chase. And then you start chasing and they pull away. Now, hopefully it's not manipulation, right? Hopefully they're not being narcissistic. But what I am telling you is that life will cause these situations naturally. You don't have to pray for setbacks. You don't have to pray, how do I pull? Trust me, something's gonna come up. One day you're gonna be ready to go on that date with your partner, and you're gonna have to cancel last minute because you got called in for work. The key for this though is that they cannot suspect that you're a manipulator. So you gotta be honest with people. You gotta be transparent with people. But at the same time, allow setbacks to happen. Allow for you to not see them. Because a lot of the times, we don't want this to happen because we just want to see them. We're just addicted to seeing them. So we don't want them to pull away. We don't want them to have distance because we're addicted. And so that addiction is you're gonna hear me say this and you're gonna say, no, it's like people who smoke weed, right? They're like, oh my God, I can't get high anymore because I smoke a lot of weed. And you tell them, I know a trick so that you can get higher. And they're like, oh, what? Are you ready for the trick? And they're like, yes. Stop smoking. And they're like, I don't want that shit, man. I'm too addicted. I'm like, well, that's how you grow tolerance, motherfucker. I mean, that's how you lower your tolerance. So it's the same thing. My partner's bored. They're not romantic no more. Pull away. But I want to see my partner all the time, Melissa. That's why you're annoying Tyrone, because you don't give him space. We're all drugs to each other. And just like any other drug, you got to give people distance from yourself. You can't always be suffocating them with your presence. Sometimes you got to give them space to pursue you, because people want to pursue you. You know, pursuing creates dopamine. Pursuing creates, when you pursue something, you work for it and you value it more. But whenever you give things for free, people don't value. So we fast forward a story of a writer who was writing to this woman and stopped writing to her. And because he stopped writing to her love letters, she started wondering who he was. He was writing anonymous letters. And long story short, he renewed the writing and they ended up meeting up, but he wasn't making a move. But she knew he was interested. So she started getting physical with him because he was restraining himself. And the guy found so much pleasure in restraining himself and seeing her like burst and just sweat in desire. It gave him a sense of power, right? And people don't understand how pleasurable that is for the victim. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing someone that you really want and not being able to touch them, but be in their presence. There is a satisfying quality to that. And this is this is the encouragement of it. What this is telling you to do is to learn to find pleasure in building up desire. And through this strategy, he teaches it. If you guys want me to include the story, let me know in the comments down below, because it is kind of a long story, but it is interesting. Let's keep listening.
The devastating effect of Baudelaire's push and pull on Madame Sabatier teaches us a great lesson in seduction. First, it is always best to keep at some distance from your targets. You do not have to go as far as remaining anonymous, but you don't want to be seen too often or to be seen as intrusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because once you do that, again, it's all about them wanting to see you more. But before this happens, you got to set the tone of pursuing them. You know what I'm saying?
You're always in their face, always the aggressor. They will become used to being passive, and the tension in your seduction will flag. Use letters to make them think about you all the time.
Or text messages. That's why texting is very important.
Their imagination. Cultivate mystery. Stop them from figuring you out. Baudelaire's letters were delightfully ambiguous. mixing the physical and the spiritual, teasing Sabatier with their multiplicity of possible interpretations. Then, at the point when they are ripe with desire and interest,
pull away.
when perhaps they are expecting you to,
Right? And this is the point of it. And this is where most people mess up the seduction, right? That they don't have the patience and the control to not let this go any further and to hold themselves back and let them, like, right when they're about to give in, pull away. Like you pull the rug under them.
make a move as Madame Sabatier expected that day in her apartment, take a step back. You are unexpectedly distant, friendly, but no more than that. Certainly not sexual. Let this sink in for a day or two. Your withdrawal will trigger anxiety. The only way to relieve this anxiety is to pursue and possess you.
Let's stop right here. It is insidious. On the Patreon channel, I'm gonna read the story, go over the story actually. But yeah, we're gonna stop right here and continue on Patreon. Okay. Anyways, take care. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. To finish watching the whole video, join the Robert Greene Book Club for just $5 a month. We also have more perks. For $10 a month, you get all the Robert Greene videos, all videos I don't post on my YouTube channel there. And you get the audio version of the Robert Greene Book Club. And you get to ask one question per month for $10 a month. And then you get, on top of that, you get all of those bonuses. For $25 a month, you get to ask another question per month on top of all the other bonuses. So click on the description down below, and I hope